Hey, it's Jaime with Echo Real Estate Advisors. Welcome back to the channel. Very glad that you're here. Today we answer the age-old question, Facebook ads or Google ads? Which one should I use? Now, I do have a strong preference, and I'll share that at the end of the video, but I want to go into some pros and cons of each platform as I see it. So let's look at the capabilities between the two. Facebook and Google have a very strong marketing platform, a very strong place to run your ads from. And not only that, they have an enormous amount of data that you can leverage, an enormous amount of demographics that you can target. So as far as capabilities, both of them stack relatively well. Facebook used to have these demographics of likely to move. You were able to target those people that Facebook had determined are likely to move down the road. You used to have people that were homeowners and people that were renters, and you were able to target based off of somebody's net income and net worth. However, that is no longer the case. So in 2018, Facebook did away with that. Now, when those were in place, I would say that Facebook edged out Google in that respect when it came to actual capabilities of who you could target. Now, I would give more points to Google and Google Ads for the capabilities that you could target the people based off of who they were, based off of their interests, their habits. I give the edge to Google because you are still able to target people that are homeowners. So it's very powerful. You have interest based off of keywords that you can target the people searching for certain keywords on Google. So you have a general interest of their interest. I caught myself way too late before I started that sentence. So as far as capabilities, I would give Google the edge on that. Now, cost and quality, that's something else to consider. When it comes to cost, generally, Facebook is going to be less expensive. Now, I will put a qualifier on that. The reason Facebook is did I say least expensive or more expensive? I meant Facebook is less expensive. So if I said most, my apologies. Facebook is least expensive, but the quality is not as high, depending on your ad copy, depending on your images, depending on the demographics. If you don't necessarily know what you're doing, if you will, on Facebook, it can be more expensive for you to get a lead, but generally, for you to get an actual lead on Facebook, it's not as expensive as it is on Google. So Google is a bit more expensive as a platform and as a whole because there's a lot of competition over there, and it's a bit more mature than Facebook. So Facebook is still undervalued. I don't foresee it being undervalued for the next couple of years, but when we're talking about return on investment, Facebook is still undervalued when it comes to getting a return on investment. Now, when it comes to quality, generally, Facebook leads are less quality. So you're going to have to filter through a lot more junk leads or junky leads than on Google. And we'll go into why that's the case here in a few minutes. But so when it comes to quality, I would give the edge to Google Ads. But when it comes to cost, Facebook wins a majority of the time. So a considerable amount of the time. And when it comes to time given to you by the consumer, know that on Google Ads, you're going to get a bit more time. You're going to get a bit more time to create your story, create your narrative, a bit more time to tell who you are. So it goes back to that quality aspect of it. With Google, people are searching certain keywords because they're getting ready to do something. They're searching for a reason. They're more intentional. So with Google, it's more intentional marketing versus Facebook, it's disruptive marketing. People don't come onto Facebook generally to find their next realtor or to find their next car or to find their next nail salon or dry cleaner. They go on Facebook for either socializing or just spending some time. And when they're scrolling through their Facebook or through their phone, they see an ad that stands out. So it'll trigger some thoughts of, oh, well, yeah, this is a great coupon I should be using for my dry cleaning. And it's right there. It's right next to me. Or, hey, I have been thinking about buying a house, but it wasn't until I saw this ad that it starts to make sense. Or, what do you mean you can buy a house for 3% down versus the 20% that I've always thought? So there's that ad copy that goes into it. So with Facebook, you're not going to get as much time to pull people into your story, pull people into your narrative, to pull people into you as a brand. You have to put a strong lead magnet out there. And if there's enough interest, they're going to click through. And if you don't deliver quickly, then they're bouncing. They're going on and continuing their Facebook journey. So that's disruptive marketing from the Facebook standpoint or the Facebook platform versus Google. Google, the customer will generally invest a bit more time figuring out what you're about. So think of it from your standpoint. Whenever you're researching anything, when you are researching your real estate school, when you are researching your car, when you're researching houses as well, what did you do when you typed it into Google? You clicked through, you went to their website. If it looked pretty junky, if it looked very unprofessional, then chances are you were bouncing, unless there was something else that really drew you, like social proof, where, wow, this person has 500 five-star reviews, or this person has so many other people vouching for them. So is that social proof that kept you on there? Google, again, with Google, you're going to have more time to tell your story, to tell your narrative. As soon as they click through, they can land on your landing page where you immediately start talking in a video very similar to this and start telling your story. Versus Facebook, you don't get as much time because they're not there to get their house or get their next car or get their next dry cleaner. They're there for a different reason. With Google, they're a little bit more intentional. So they're on the research and more intentional phase versus being disrupted by an ad that seems pretty enticing, but if nothing's delivered as quickly as I want, then I'm going to bounce. And when it comes to ease of use, well, let me back up. So time given to you or grace given to you when it comes to time spent on your advertising, Google wins out a majority of the time. Now, ease of use, I was hesitant to include this because I have completely different opinions, a completely different opinion than a lot of people. And this one's, I think as far as ease of use, I think Google is much easier to use than Facebook. However, the majority of the people that I speak to, Facebook is easier for them. So this one's I would say it's a toss-up at this point, or maybe I'm just not ready to concede that Google Ads may be a bit more complex than Facebook. But ease of use with Google, the way I see it is all I need to do is create an AdWords account. And if I want people to call me, I just put my phone number on there and put a generic landing page, and I'm off and running to direct traffic to it so people can click through. And I'm off and running. And my website, I would like my website to be good, but with technology and free resources like Total Expert, which is a free single property website generator, I have a free website that I can drive traffic to, and then I just put my email or my phone number, whatever mode I want to, whatever communication method I want to use, and I'm getting calls, and I'm getting people landing on my website, and we're off and running. With Facebook, there's a bit more consideration. You do have to set up your personal account, you do have to set up your business account, and you have to know the differences of what you can and can't do there. Then you have to figure out what type of campaign you're going to run. Admittingly, yeah, Google Ads, you have to figure out your campaign as well. But then you have to figure out what type, with traffic, I have to make sure that the ad copy is completely on point, because again, it's disruptive marketing. And if you're doing a leads campaign, you have to create the actual lead campaigns. If not, with the traffic campaign, you have to still create your own landing page. I just have a bias. I do believe that Google Ads is a bit easier to use, but a lot of people swear by Facebook Ads as far as it being more user friendly, and they find Google Ads a bit more clunky, a bit more difficult to navigate. So it is a preference thing, so I was very hesitant to include it, but at the end of the day, I'll just go ahead and split it. Ease of use, based off of what people are telling me, Facebook Ads is the easier of the two platforms. My personal bias, my personal opinion is that Google Ads is easier. So let's just split the difference. I'm not ready to concede that just yet. And when it comes to the sales funnel, and when it comes to the whole sales process in general, with Google, you can target people that are at the top of funnel, middle of funnel, or bottom of funnel. You can target those keywords that only somebody, or a majority of the people that are ready to buy or ready to sell, whatever the case may be, would be searching for. So you get to catch people. You catch people anywhere on the funnel that you would like. And not everybody's going to be in the same frame, but you have a good opportunity with certain keywords to catch people that are ready to go, that are needing to sell their house quickly. As an example, how to sell my house fast. Unless you were doing a research project or just curious out of the blue to type that in, unless you were doing that, chances are you need to sell your house fast. And a lot of rehabbers, a lot of people that buy houses to flip, they're paying $125 per click to be on the front page, to get that actual click, for the opportunity to speak to those people that need to sell their house fast. So yeah, that's the reason it gets so expensive. But you're catching people at the bottom of funnel, the bottom of the funnel of the sales funnel, where, hey, these people are likely to do something. They're not in research mode, which is middle of funnel, and they're not being just made aware, which is more top of funnel, of what their needs are. So they're ready, or very close to being ready, to selecting somebody to help them sell their house or buy their house. There's a lot more action behind it. So that's the benefit of Google. When it comes to Facebook, depending on the demographics that you're targeting, you don't necessarily have that luxury. You can put in some audience, interest that would, like Zillow as an interest, Realtor as an interest, Trulia.com as an interest. So you can make some assumptions based on the audience that you're targeting, but you can't be as flexible or as targeted. I guess those are two synonyms. No, it's not synonyms, antonyms. So you can't be as targeted with Facebook advertising. So again, I kind of have to go on the Google side, and based off of what you've been hearing, these different categories that I'm bringing up, you may be guessing that I favor Google Ads, and you'd be right. I just love Google Ads. Yes, it's a bit more expensive of a platform. Yes, there is a good amount of competition out there from a lot of big companies. Very same thing on Facebook. There's competition by big companies. It's not as expensive as Google. It is getting more expensive. So if you were used to getting those couple of bucks worth of leads, that's not the case, or becoming the case, much longer. So you do have to deal with those price increases when it comes to Facebook. Google, not saying it's as expensive as it's ever been, but it's pretty expensive. So the key thing is knowing what to do on both platforms. As far as preference for me, with what I've seen with return on investment, Google Ads has been very, very good to me. It's a different type of a lead, a different type of a conversation versus Facebook. Facebook still has an incredible return on investment. However, when we're talking about my preference, Google Ads is gonna win out. And that's my preference. Both of them have their place, and there's a way to retarget so you can make both of those work together. Um, and we can go into other videos. Actually, there is a video already on this channel that speaks specifically on how to make Facebook ads and Facebook ads and Google ads and just your website work in a good cyclical fashion to drive people further down on the sales funnel. And there's I'll try to include them in the cards if I remember. But as far as preference, Google Ads is where my preference would be. Both of them have their place in marketing. Whatever you're going to use is what you should be using. If you find that Google Ads is just not working for you and you're finding more success on Facebook ads, keep going. Invest more money into it. Double down and increase your business. If you're finding more success with Google Ads, don't worry about Facebook ads necessarily. Just have a presence and keep that going, but double down on your Google Ads. If you're seeing success, replicate it. So again, that's it for today. What's the difference between Google Ads and Facebook ads? Which one's better for you? It depends. And when it comes to differences, we've already outlined those. If there's any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to reach out. Always happy to have a conversation. And I'll see you in the next one.